Hello, Keith Keller, Melbourne, Australia. It's Tuesday here, Monday in the US and Canada and Mexico and Costa Rica and all the funky places where people listen in from. Let me know where you're calling in from. Bit of a change of plan this week. I am doing a repurposing of repurpose 3030 week 2, and that's still going ahead, but a couple of different changes. LinkedIn has a brutal new algorithm, and I have been restricted 5 times this month, 5 times since Halloween. So the show will not be available on LinkedIn today, but it is going to Substack and YouTube. So the show is live on Substack, and the replay will be on YouTube. If you do want to make any comments, you can make them either on YouTube or Substack, depending on where you hang out. And if you do have any questions, please let me know. You can DM me on Substack or Facebook if we're connected. But unfortunately, LinkedIn is out of the picture for the next conceivable moments until Friday, at least for me. And I have to work out whether I'm even going to get my account back. So we're going to talk a bit about that. But we're talking mainly about the idea of repurposing your content. And the really important point is, where is your best performing content? Luckily for me, it wasn't on LinkedIn, although it was pretty good there. And that option is not available to me anymore. So we're going to play a little bit around with that. So I thought, while I'm waiting for my buddies to come, I sort of composed a variation of the theme that I've played with a couple of times. What is this new algorithm? What is it? What is it doing? And I've created it in a sort of a dystopian sort of 80s synth pop dark mode. You'll know what I mean when you hear it. And the words are the same as the other versions, but I just decided to make it with it sort of a synth pop vibe. So I want you to throw yourself back in the time machine to about 1982. I want you to imagine you're wearing black and all your mates have synthesizers and there's not a guitar to be found. And I think that would be a funky little way to introduce the show. What is this new algorithm? That's better. Oops, that's better. What is this new algorithm?
What is this new algorithm? It's reading between the lines. No more noise, just precision. Matching hearts and minds. What is this new algorithm? It's the rhythm of what we do. If you post with passion and purpose, it's gonna find you true. Check my feed this morning, things feel brand new. Post full stories I never knew. No more chasing likes, no clickbait thrills. It's 3x stick goal, redefining script. 150 billion thoughts in play, learning what we mean, not just what we say. Every word, every vibe, every clue, all filtered through the lens of you. What is this new algorithm? It's reading between the lines. No more noise, just precision. Matching hearts and minds. What is this new algorithm? It's the rhythm of what we do. If you post with passion and a face, it's gonna find you then you'll fade away. But stay in your lane to avoid foul play. It craves clarity and names inside. Meaningful content that shines so bright. They switch the system overnight. 1,000 models gone new inside. What fits this latest to your brand new shortcut? What is this new algorithm? It's written in between the lines. No more noise, just precision. Matching hearts and minds. What is this new algorithm? It's the rhythm of what we do. If you post with passion and purpose, it's gonna find you true. What is this new algorithm? It's reading between the lines. No more noise, just precision. Matching hearts and minds. What is this new algorithm? It's the rhythm of what we do. If you post with passion and purpose, it's gonna find you true.
Okay, what is this new algorithm? What's this new algorithm we keep talking about? So we're talking about Repurpose 3030, and the point of Repurpose 3030 is to repost 30 pieces of content in 30 days on all your different favorite networks, including LinkedIn. But LinkedIn has changed the rules this week, or in recent weeks, and I've been banned 5 times since Halloween. So I obviously must be doing something wrong. I'm desperately trying to work out what that is. Please, sir, can I have some more? And or can I have my account back? So while I wait for a few of my buddies to come up and tell me what they think it might be, we're talking about repurposing your content. What is your best performing content? Where is it? Where can we put it? And how can we build on it? If you do have any comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can comment on YouTube and or Substack. Unfortunately, LinkedIn's not working this week. I'd love to get to 100 comments. But what we do know for sure, and I'm pretty excited about this, I've got a pretty good song about this now. We know that Substack, we get about 100 views on our posts every day and about 200 views on our shows when we do live shows. So this is a very, very cool thing. Looks like I've got a comment. Oh, is this working? Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this, Mike? You're seeing it's not you. It's not LinkedIn. It's you. It's not LinkedIn. It's you. So I'm been banned from LinkedIn, but Mike's seeing it on his LinkedIn account. That must be pretty amazing. 360 Brew. It's not LinkedIn. It's you. Actually, that's a good name for a song. Let's riff on that. So it looks like LinkedIn is working in spite of myself. I can't see it because I've been banned, but other people must be able to see it, which is pretty cool. That's a really bizarre feeling. If you do want to know what's coming up in the rule book, I'll send you some details here on where is Keith today. Mike, I don't know where else we're connected. I think we're only connected on LinkedIn. If you want to come up and speak, I might have to get someone else to send you the link. I'll just work on this. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing wrong. And we're actually got a really cool show with America coming up about this. But in spite of that, I want to just flip the switch and say we need to decide whether LinkedIn's a thing. 1.2 billion users. Are you still going to use it? The algorithm has completely changed the paradigm. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I'm sort of sitting in the middle, but I'm sort of leaning towards the hate it camp, but I don't want to be. I want to embrace it. So what I've done is I've reworked a song that I created. I'm not even sure what word to use now. Substack is going mainstream. Now, I reckon that Substack is the thing to do. in 2026. I'm all in on Substack. LinkedIn's been around 20 years. It's a bit old. Maybe it's still worth using. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to get my account back. I don't know. But in the meantime, let's contemplate this. This is a sort of a top, sort of funky FM radio vibe, very straight ahead, very sort of major chords, very lovely solo with lovely harmonies based on several songs you've probably heard on the radio already. Substack is going mainstream. So let's embrace it. And while we wait for our LinkedIn to sort of play the game, we can work on how to do that too. But this one here is where I'm heading. Substack is going mainstream.
Yeah. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. Oh, yeah. It started as a whisper, a spark in the feed. Creators find their voice and created light speed. We are scaling up without selling out. Gentle souls finding an audience without having to shout. It's still very early in these golden days. The crowd's not too loud and the tech will amaze. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. The challenge is the balance to stay true and free. Hold that creator soul in the storm and sea. 2025, the year we decide how far the wave goes, how wide the tide. Can we scale the mountain without losing the art? Every platform's heartbeat starts in the heart. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a
Solo.
name. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Substack is going mainstream. I think it is. So we're live on Substack now. It's working. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure it'll work on YouTube. I don't need to check that. If you want to watch on YouTube, that's fine too. You can actually make comments there, and that's where the replays will be. I can't do anything with LinkedIn until Friday night at 6 p.m. my time, so I have no idea what's going on there. I can't comment. I can't send you the link. I can't do anything. So we're asking the question as to what's going on there. I'd love to know if you're having trouble with the algorithm or whether you love it. You might love it, and good on you for that. What we're actually going to do today when we get some of our buddies to come on stage, and I'm not even sure how to find them now, but we're going to talk about what is your best performing content. We'll also do this tomorrow on the recap. And last week, we had 175 views on the first show on LinkedIn, and that's pretty good. 175 people watched the show and enjoyed it, I hope, because they didn't leave. But we're asking the question, where is your best performing content? That's pretty cool. I've decided, in 2026, because of these fluctuations, that I can't rely on LinkedIn anymore. It might be my third backup site, but I can't rely on these inconsistencies. My mate Americo is doing a pretty cool show about this in a couple of days, and we're going to pull apart the pros and the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to take the ugly part because I'm in the ugly zone, but he's pretty excited about it, and he doesn't mind talking about it in a positive way. So it should be a good sort of all-rounder show. If you do want to know more about what shows we've got coming up, please go to Where is Keith Today. Now, I'm struggling a bit now because I can't send the files to friends of mine who I want to come on stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a series of songs and just work behind the scenes to get some people up on stage to talk. And if not, we'll just kill it and put it down to experience. So there's a couple of things going on here. One is I do believe that Substack is going mainstream. It's 50 million views, 50 million users, 80 million visitors a month. It's a thumping place. So 50 million people using it all the time. I've done some pretty massive research on what shows, what types of topics are very popular on a Substack. A couple of them are not interesting to me, so I'm not going to mention those, but please contact me if you want to know what they are. I don't want to talk about politics, so I don't talk about politics, and I don't want anything to do with it. So I'm not talking about politics, but there's a couple of really interesting concepts that a lot of people are talking about on AI that we will pick up on in future shows. One is there's a lot of discussions about AI and how to use it, the pros and the cons, and it's very, 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 very cool. Another one is entrepreneurship, the idea that, if you've been retrenched, maybe you're sick of working for the man. I'll talk about this in a minute. This is very, very cool, Lachelle. I'll talk about this idea. How do I live schedule in advance? I don't know if you can do it on your phone. I don't know. But you definitely can do it on your PC. I'll talk about this in a minute. If you want to join me on stage, I've just sent you a link inside of Substack in the DMs. If you want to come up on stage, we can talk about that. Oh, there it is. Mike's given me the nod, so I can send him the link. This is quite fun. Like, this is a good challenge. I'm used to running a lot off LinkedIn, but I can't. So I'll send you the link now, Mike. I've sent Lachelle the link, and we'll talk a little bit about scheduling. Yep. And so we can talk about AI. This is very, 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 very cool. So Lachelle has asked the question, how do you schedule ahead of time on Substack? This is an extremely cool thing to do. So not everyone has this feature, but if you do go to your dashboard, and please let me know if you've got this feature. If you go to your dashboard, you'll go to the create new button. And then in that create new button, there'll be an option for creating live video. If you have that feature, if you click on it, inside that box will be an option to schedule ahead. If you don't have that feature, then you can't do it. And there's nothing you can do about it until they give it to you. You just have to wait. We still haven't worked out a hack to make this faster, but simply go to your dashboard and get this lovely graphic that tells you how many people are listening to your stuff. And then go to the create new button, which is that bright orange, Substack orange color. And you'll get the create new live video button. And if you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't. And we are still trying to work out how to get it for people that don't have it. It's pretty new. It's only been invented this year on the PC or laptop. So don't stress, it'll come, and we'll do a little bit of work on that. While I wait for Mike to come up and Lachelle, I've got a couple of more songs I want to play about this idea. To me, I've got to be honest, LinkedIn, I miss it. I haven't had LinkedIn since Friday night, and I feel like one of my arms was missing. I mean, I can't do anything because I mean, I didn't realize how dependent I was on LinkedIn. I'm struggling. I can't get much done. So, Americo is going to do a show about this. Lachelle's, I'd be very interested to know how you're going. Hello, Lachelle. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. How are you today?
Very good, mate. Very good, mate. Yeah, lean into it, mate. Like a
Oh,
crow, mate. Like a crow, mate.
mate.
It's a really deep drawl, you know. But look, are you using LinkedIn? Are you experiencing these problems that we're having?
Yeah, remember I told you I'm kind of like incognito. So I'm popping in and out for different things because, it's Thanksgiving week. My kids are out of school. It's just a lot going on in the background. So I'm not as active. And it's so funny because, when you're not, your numbers go down, so in terms of your reach and things like that. But my question was, I was able to schedule a live stream on my phone, but I couldn't do it on my PC. So I'm like, what is the problem? And I kept trying to do it. And I mean, when you generate a key, do you have to just schedule it and then generate the key when you go live? Is
Uh,
that how it works?
yeah. Okay. So, do you use Restream or Substack, or do you have any software?
I have StreamYard.
Okay. So um, StreamYard's a little bit difficult in the sense that you get you get two keys when you go when you want to stream on StreamYard. It's what we call RTMP, real time messaging protocol. It's actually quite difficult to do. With Restream, you only need one key. You only need the stream key. With
Mm,
StreamYard, you need both. You need the URL and the stream key. I don't know how to do that because I don't have StreamYard. But
I
you,
see.
but you need both. You need both pieces of tech there. So what we need to do is we need to find someone who's doing StreamYard and ask them to do it. But with Restream, it's much easier. You just need the one Restream key, and you punch that
Hmm.
into Restream. Works every time. Right?
Now, so when you do that, is that key only live when you go live, or
It
are
only
you
works.
able to schedule in advance?
Uh, this is actually a very good question. So when you get the stream key is for the session you are going to create. Yeah.
Okay.
But this is very important. If you go a step back and schedule the event first, it will give you a stream key. So you've done two in one. You've already scheduled it first. You can't do it in reverse. If you already create an event, you can't then go back and schedule it.
Oh, I see.
You have to do it in sequence. So if you schedule an event, say for next Friday at 8 a.m. your time,
Hmm.
it'll go on your feed and it'll give you a lovely countdown, really lovely countdown, and it'll go on your feed. Then you go into the next page and it'll give you the stream key, right? And then you punch that into StreamYard, and then on the day you just go into StreamYard and it works. You can't do the reverse.
Oh,
So if you wanted to schedule it, you have to make sure you schedule it first. And this is how I do it. I'm very excited about this. The way I do it is I schedule all my events because I'm in the mode of the scheduling. Then on the day, this is so cool. I'll send you a screenshot of this.
okay.
On the day, I schedule the show to go for the same time, and it creates this really, really, really cool countdown. Like, so say you schedule your shows at 10 o'clock at 8 in the morning after breakfast, you just schedule it and it says, look, the show's going live in 2 hours. You want to register? Come, please come. And it gives you this really cool countdown. And then
Yeah,
when
so I have that now. See, I because I have an event for Thanksgiving. And so it came up with the countdown and everything on my phone. I was only able to schedule in advance on my phone.
yeah, it is pretty new technology. Oh, we've lost her. It's pretty new technology.
Now,
It's
uh-huh.
so don't beat yourself up. We
Okay.
We are hello Zakia, jump in if you want to talk again. We have a really good show planned today because we're talking a lot about scheduling ahead. I did send you the link on Substack, Mike. But I'll send you it again, and so Zakia can come in. So don't beat yourself up. It's actually quite difficult to do. So just schedule ahead, try it. If it doesn't work, well, you have to put it down to practice. You can do a run, just do a practice run tomorrow or something. What I did yesterday, and Zakia was on this call, I did this practice run show just on, it went 3 hours, but we didn't, that wasn't planned. I just had the time. So I just did this practice run show. And I said, look, I've got time today. I'm going to run a show half an hour from now. I scheduled it. I got the really, really cool countdown. I'll get to Zakia to explain this because she saw it. And then once the show went live, it just popped up. It just popped in the feed and it became live. It was unbelievable. Do you want to explain that, Zakia? If I've just sent you the link. Jump in and tell us what you're thinking. Does that make sense, or am I not explaining that too well?
No, you're doing good. Yeah, I'm just really baffled why I couldn't do it from my laptop, but I could do it from my phone. I mean, it did all the things to where, um, I could set it up. It says it on my laptop, but for some reason, when I get to the point of scheduling, it does like it had me do the URL, the stream key, and everything for um, StreamYard, but there was like, I don't, that's why I was wondering, do you have to go live when you generate that key? Or can you schedule it? So then I just went on my phone and scheduled it. But then I was like, when I go live, I'm just going to have to go live. I'm not going to be able to stream what I'm live streaming on LinkedIn or YouTube or Facebook because it wouldn't let me do that part to generate the key from my phone, if that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. What you do is you schedule the event. This is how I do it. You schedule the event and you punch in all the components: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever you want, whatever sites you use, and you schedule it ahead and you lock it in. Right. Unfortunately, with Substack, its schedule ahead feature is not very good, right? And it doesn't work with the other sites. So schedule ahead using Restream or StreamYard, and because you know that'll work because it's designed for that. And then maybe an hour before the show starts, just do this funky countdown,
Okay.
which runs as almost like a reminder.
Yeah.
But then on the day, at the time, the show will pop in. Right? It'll just magically happen. There's no way to plan it ahead of time, but it'll just magically happen. We're getting better at this. I think Merico can do this, but this is how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to put the countdown on the day to give people a reminder that the Substack version is there, but it's not a very reliable format, and I wouldn't do that as a main feature. I would just do that as a little bonus.
I see.
Yeah, because Restream and StreamYard, they're purpose built. They're solid. They've been around a long time. This sort of streaming onto Substack was only really invented a couple of weeks ago. I mean, most of us still don't even have it.
I see.
Yeah. So don't beat yourself up. It's there, but Mike and Zakia, you're welcome to come on the show if you wish, and have a bit of a chat to us. We're talking about a lot of things. One is we're talking about repurposing in general. We're talking about the fact that Substack really is adding amazing features really fast, some of which some of us have and some don't. And we're also talking about the LinkedIn algorithm, how that's affecting us, or me in particular, because, I am so important to myself. And I really, really, really want to hear from other people about what they're doing with the LinkedIn algorithm. Some people don't notice. Some people are really massively affected. Some people don't care. I really want to hear, because I'm in a bit of a bubble here because I've been suspended so many times. And we're also going to talk a little bit about AI. We're going to talk about the trends on Substack with the little mouse. Was it a bird? Is it a possum? Is it a bird? Is it a possum? It's a flying insect. No, is it a rabbit? Is it a gopher? Is it a squirrel? What is it?
It's a squirrel.
It's a squirrel.
It's a squirrel.
So, Mike, let's pick up on this. First of all, are you doing events on? I really beg you to do events. Like, I mean, you've got all these songs. You could be rocking it 24/7. You could do it. You've got so many songs you could run a 24/7 radio station. I just cannot understand why you're not doing that. But
Well,
do
you got to show me what I really want to do is play a song behind either a video or a still without loading it as an asset in the studio. In other words, I want to be able to have most likely a playlist on Suno and just play my, like for an hour. I mean, I can interrupt it, but the concept is I want to have all this pre-done, and maybe introduce briefly the song and then just play the playlist.
Yeah. Well, do you have a Mac or a PC?
A PC.
Yeah. So I've got a PC, and on my hard drive, I just have all these shows loaded. And I'll play one, and this is how it sounds. Remember, we're dealing with internet, so the sound might drop in and out. That's the thing we're struggling with, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's going to be true pretty much of any app, right?
Ah, yeah. So, okay, I'll play this one. I might not play it all, but I'll play it. This is how I do it. I just have it loaded on my PC, on my C drive, under a folder called Substack theme songs, because I've got so many. And I wrote this song, a version of this song called LinkedIn Feels Like Homework, because like it's really hard now. So I'll play it, and we'll just examine what that sounded like as the song.
When you're playing it though, Keith, just for some,
yeah,
just so I understand. So how are you playing it?
I'm playing it from my PC.
Okay, and are you sharing that, or how does it?
No, it's in Media Player. It's in Media Player.
Okay.
And you've got a Zoom P4, so this should work. So when I play funky sounds,
that's coming from your P4.
Yep.
Yeah.
That just comes. I've got a whole series of sounds there, and I've got a Media Player, which is a Windows product. I don't know what they do in Mac, but I just play the Media Player version of the song. Hello, what are you doing? Can you get on with it? So I'm going to play this reggae version in honor of Jimmy Cliff, actually, who died today. LinkedIn Feels Like Homework. And let's see what it sounds like. And we'll see if we can get you to do this as well.
LinkedIn feel like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feel like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. I wake up, pour my coffee slow. Scroll through posts that say just go for growth. Everyone's climbing, shining, aligning, and I'm still refining my bio line. I try to sound inspired, but it's tough. Who knew self-branding could be this rough? LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework. Congrats on your new romance. Type that lie with my own two hands. I'm happy for you, I swear it's true. Just wish I knew what I'm supposed to do. The feed says hustle, the feed says rest. No one agrees, but I'm still stressed. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the burbs. It feels like I'm selling sure feels like homework. Maybe I'll rewrite my soul's resume. And still figuring it out under work experience today. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best, turning life into a network. Every post feels like a test. Smiling in the headlines, dreaming in the verbs. It feels like I'm selling my soul with clever words. LinkedIn sure feels like homework.
Now, what did that sound like, Mike? Did it drop out a bit, or it sounded perfect in my headphones?
It dropped out all over the place, volume wise.
Yeah,
It,
and that
it was like going almost in. I was going to ask you, are you modulating the volume? Because there's times, first of all, when it was louder, it was also clearer, if that makes any sense.
yeah.
And then when it attenuated volume wise, it's like, ooh, it's sounding flat and stuff. But when it was kind of full volume, it sounded very clear and you know, to your point, like I was listening to it in a set of headphones. I don't have my DT 770s on at the moment, so I'm actually using a cheap pair of headsets, but it still sounded pretty clear when it was.
Yeah, I mean, the problem, America had this problem on Friday. The show sounded perfect to him and the guests in his headphones and their headphones. But when we got the file back, the sound was terrible. Now, that must be the quality of the internet for the people listening. So there's nothing we can do about that unless you have really good internet, which is something I guess you could invest in.
It sounded fine to me. I'm on my phone. It sounded fine to me.
Okay. So it might have compensated.
Did you notice though any change in volume?
No, it was the same all the way through for me.
Oh, that's interesting. Because
I'm on an iPhone, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
It might.
So with that in mind, it's a very simple procedure. If you've got, and this is a very, very good point for anyone listening who wants to play music on their shows. And this is a highly debatable topic, but we're using Suno at the moment, which is a highly contentious idea. And so we're using Suno to write these songs. Writing songs is a very amazing dichotomy. I know that because a few of my muso friends are listening in. And so anyway, we're playing these songs. I'm playing the songs myself to accentuate the point that we're making. Now, I'm very proud of this. I've got a style now where I write a song that is indicative of the subject we're going to talk about. LinkedIn feels like homework. I'm pretending to be my best. Yeah, every post I do feels like a test. Bloody hard work, and it's boring. Right? And that's what the song's about, right? So that's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing these songs. But what I'm using with a PC is I'm using Windows Media Player to simply play the song from my hard drive. It plays through the P4, and it drops in and out depending on the quality of the internet at my end and your end. So it's not ideal, but it could be a good range for you because you must have 200 songs now.
Yeah, I actually have a little more. Yeah, a little more.
So that's the first thing we're talking about. The second thing we're talking about today, which we will pick up on again, is the idea that you can now do these shows on Substack and you can schedule them ahead. And I'm very proud to say we did an experiment yesterday. I'm posting once a day now as an article, well, just some basic articles. Hello, Catherine. Jump in if you want. Another KK in the world. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. If you're using Substack to do some shows, so I'll send you a link to this, Catherine, if you want to join. So we're actually doing shows, and this is a very important stat. I get it every time I do a post, written words with maybe a funky picture. I get about 100 views that day. And I'm very proud to say that I just cracked. I'm so excited. I just cracked 10,000 views in 90 days using this strategy, right? So it's working. 10,000 views of the articles and posts that I'm doing, right? But when I do a show, I get 200 views that day, right? Not always at the time of the show, but over time it sort of rounds out and people see it on. So, oh, there's Keith. We'll be going to have a look at some of his other stuff. And so I'm sending you a link to this, Catherine. Kathleen, sorry, I think it's Kathleen. So I'm now doing two versions of the show. One is I'm doing shows twice a week. Kathleen. Sorry. I'm doing two shows a week. One I'm doing here on Substack and YouTube, and the other one the day after is just a repeat. Right? And then sometimes, if time allows, we'll do other little shows for fun just to test things, right? Including other little sites we're trying. And I'm getting twice as many views by doing that as I am by writing, which is great because I hate writing. So it's proven my point. I mean, really, I just want it to prove my point because I don't want to write. So this is why I'm saying, Mike, you could be doing shows. You could be doing shows and showcasing your songs. And that's up to you. You'll get to it. What do you think, Zaki? Yesterday was a very good example of what we're talking about. We had 200 views over the course of that day as a result of doing that show. Not all at that time. I only got 40 at the time, but it generated a lot of residual interest. It's quite cool, isn't it? We got you there, Zakia. Have you got your mic plugged in?
I do. Sorry, it took me a minute to get to the unmute button. It was a great show yesterday, and 200 views just from the live.
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? I mean,
I
just went live for fun.
Wow.
So I'm all into, and this is what this show's about. Repurpose 3030. Like, I know people that have great content and it's completely unsung heroes in the world. No one knows about them, right? And I don't want to talk into a vacuum. I don't want to just talk at the wall and hope someone listens. I want numbers. You know, if people want me to write and that's what they reward me for, I'll do it. But I'm not doing it if no one's reading it. Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
And if I'm doing these shows and people are watching them, I'll do them. If they're not watching them, I'm kidding myself, right? Because I could just go to the beach and watch the dolphins play. Not that there's dolphins there today, but there often is. And there's a really cool cafe at the beach that serves lattes for $4, and they've got donuts. I mean, I could just do that. I could just bump into some random person in the street and say, "Hey, mate, can I shout you a coffee? I'll buy you a donut." I mean, that's going to cost me just about as much as the internet bill. I just go to the donut shop at the beach and sit there. So I'm exaggerating to make a point because a lot of us do this content. None of us ever check it. So this is the point I'm making today. What is your best performing content? Let's come back to that. And let's run the room on this. Mike, do you do content? Where does it stick the best? Have you got somewhere where your content is that we can view? What are you doing?
Well, and this is relatively new, my old content, and I'm going to distinguish between old content and new content. I've been on quite a few shows, as you may remember, including yours. I've been on a number of LinkedIn Lives, but I don't own those shows because I'm guesting. So I'm kind of dependent on the host. So I'm not really repurposing. I do find it, though, Keith, very hard to figure out what response I'm getting, particularly on LinkedIn. Yeah. I can see sort of raw overall numbers. Come to think of it, I don't remember ever seeing things on LinkedIn Lives. And I've even linked in live some of your shows. You know how you can mirror or whatever to my LinkedIn live. I have to go back and look, but I don't remember seeing stats on my LinkedIn lives that I
that you've been
restreamed.
guesting on.
Yep. Yeah.
If you did, this is a very good point. If you did the show yourself, you ran it, you would get very comprehensive stats.
Okay.
You get the number of people that viewed and the top 5 cities they live in. So, for instance, San Francisco consistently listens. Atlanta consistently listens. LA, Philadelphia, New York. Go Eagles! Sorry, go Cowboys.
Oh, don't you say that on this stream.
I watched the replay right like about 2 minutes to go. They
Oh.
got a field goal. Watch the replay.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Yeah, it was a
Well,
good game.
for
And they
them.
came back from 0, like 21-0 at halftime,
Mhm.
and to win 24-21. So on LinkedIn, you get very comprehensive stats. How many people viewed the show? How long did they listen for? Where do they live? What town? So, okay, my show last week, 175 people listened to that show at the time. The top 5 shows, the top 5 locations were Melbourne, Sydney, LA, New York, Atlanta, say. I don't think that's exactly right, but just as an example. So that means that I know that all my friends in Atlanta, I'll just maybe lean on that a bit. People in Melbourne are listening. Good. It's the middle of the day. Why are they coming to my show? No Aussies listen to my show, but on that day we had a lot of Aussies on there, right? So very comprehensive stats, right? And what I know from my shows, because they go a long time, is that the average listening time is 8 minutes, but people come back. They drop the kids off at school, and Keith's still going. Hey, I'll just grab a coffee. He's still there. They go and they listen for another 8 minutes, then they might mow the lawn or do the dishes or walk the dog. Keith's still going. They come back. Some people come 3 or 4 times. They drop in, they drop out. They come in, they come out. And that's handy to know, because this is the style of show I want to do. It's very natural for me. And I know that it's working. If it wasn't working, as I said, I'd just go and buy donuts. Don't tell my wife. Because she hates me eating sweet things. But I mean, just you got to use your time wisely. There's only 24 hours in the day, and you got to sleep sometimes, and there's chores to do. So, does that help, Mike? If you ran your own shows, you'd get very comprehensive stats.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at some old ones that have no views. So yeah.
But this is what I want to share. I'm very, very proud of this. Substack has stats that'll blow you away. So someone said to me the other day, why don't you just buy a book about how to use Substack? I said, oh, well, okay, I could do that. But that's not how I learn. The way I learn is I set myself a goal and I see if I can achieve it. And I said, okay, so this, I'm very proud of this. I said to myself, I want to get 10,000 views in 90 days on my stuff. Right? And every day I do a post and I check it. Ooh, that one got 28 views. Guess what? That got 200 views. Do that again. And so I started on the 2nd of September. And here it is, the end of November. I've got 10,000 views in 90 days. Right? And 66 subscribers as a result. Right? Substack gives you a massive amount of stats on this. Right? And if you drill down deeper, it gives you even better stats. So I do things that work and I try things. And if they don't work, I don't do them again. And if I try things and they go well, I do them again. So I've got this little graph. If you were going to pick one site, I would use Substack. The stats are much better. The stats are better at Substack. That is a good name for a song. The stats are better at Substack. So you know you get the stats. So what I'm doing now to prove how this works, I could read a book about how to use Substack, and that would be fine. That's probably what most people do. But I'm trying things. So I've now got 67 subscribers. I got one the other day, and I'm now pushing myself to get to 100 subscribers by Christmas. And I'm trying all these things, and I've got to be honest, not a lot's working. Bloody hard to get subscribers. Please let me know if you know how to do it, because I want to know. Let's have that discussion. How do you get subscribers? Do you have a bit of a cheat sheet for that, Zakia? What do you think?
I don't have a cheat sheet, but what I have been doing is spending time on the app, not just with my own content, but engaging with other people's content, which seems to drive followers, not necessarily subscribers. I've grown maybe 5 subscribers in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Do you want to explain I know the difference, but do you want to explain the difference between the two for those who don't know?
The subscribers, you're able to, this is my understanding of it. I'm sure there's a cleaner nuance to it, but the subscribers are those that have subscribed to your publications, meaning that they want to get notified, or they're opting in to get notified when you publish new content.
Yeah.
Versus a follower, they're only going to see you in their feed, or like your notes, and maybe if you publish, but those subscribers are a little bit different. They're a little more engaged, and they can be free or paid. And I
Yeah.
have free subscribers right now.
So let's does anyone else want to have a go at that definition? Because I'm pretty fascinated by it. You want to have a go at what the difference is between a subscriber and a follower, Lachelle? Do you know?
It sounds like she said it perfectly. Um, I haven't really looked into it, but I believe that would be the thing, that if they're a subscriber, they also see, they will email your content to that person, as opposed to a follower. I think they just see it in the feed. So that's what I would say.
Yeah. Now, the thing, this is very, very important from the user's point of view. If you are curious about someone's page, but you don't really want to get all their guff, you're just scared they're going to email you every day. I'm not saying I'm doing that. I'm just saying it could happen. So if you follow someone, it's a very low level of commitment, very low level. You know, you might come across their stuff in the feed. It's a gentle way to say, look, I'm interested, but don't hit me too hard. If you subscribe to someone, you say, look, I'm into this. If you post something, I'm open to this. And the way that Substack works, which is why it works so well, every time I do a post, my subscribers get an email. Hey, Keith's got a new post. That might piss you off. So if you follow me, you won't get that email, but you've got no way of knowing what I'm doing. It's a gentle little tap on the shoulder, a shake of the hand to say, hey, mate, you're doing good work. Thank you. I'll follow
Keith,
you. Yeah.
If you're a follower and you go live, do I see you, or do I have to be a subscriber?
No, geez, that's a good question. My gut feeling is that followers get virtually nothing.
I don't know the answer to that, and that's one of the reasons, as opposed to that
Nothing.
other
You think
platform
nothing?
that I don't want to talk about. The initials are LinkedIn. There's times where you'll go live on LinkedIn and I don't know that you're live.
No, that is we'll get to LinkedIn in a minute, because America is doing a very big show on this. I want to plug him for this, and we're going to pull it apart. What we've actually worked out is that if you love LinkedIn and you talk about LinkedIn, LinkedIn will reward you for loving LinkedIn and talking about LinkedIn. Right? Which is like sort of playing in the sandpit with all the princesses, you know. Okay, well, you love it, and you've got really lovely lollies, and you got chocolate cake in the corner. Look, of course you're going to be my friend. Right? I don't care what you think. I don't really care. But if you like me, I'll like you. So LinkedIn has this sort of almost narcissistic approach now. I'm going to get into trouble for sure. I'm never getting my account back. But, you know, if you say, look, LinkedIn's a bit troubled, or, you know, naughty corner, we're going to suspend you for 2 days. Slap on the wrist, and can you please stop talking about us? Well, why don't you just fix it? Why don't you just fix the problem? Well, okay, we'll fix that problem, but can you please stop telling anyone? So you're right. LinkedIn has has lost the plot. I think it's lost the plot, and I, I I'm not sure I can live without it, but I might have to because I just can't. I can't shut up. I can't stop talking. I
But
just
Keith,
can't sit.
I
Yeah.
think the other thing we're talking about repurposing is I can't really repurpose anywhere else LinkedIn content. So I mean I can cut and paste, but I can't really. Whereas Substack by definition is allowing me to put it all over the place.
Yeah.
Allows me to put
It
it
does
to
fit in
all these other
perfectly with.
platforms.
So, with that in mind, where is your best performing content, and what type of content is it?
Well, at the moment, it's Substack because I'm still trying, and this gets complicated. But I do have a plan. I know it doesn't seem like it, Keith, but in order to really do what I want, I have to get video going. So in order to get video going, I have to get what I'm happy with relative to a tool, which I'm working on, by the way. But all that said, so I'm going to be doing video content for YouTube. I'm going to be doing short, basically very short clips for TikTok, all to generate traffic to Bandcamp and DistroKid. So I will hopefully I will be getting, I'm going to be driving traffic. And oh, by the way, yes, I'm going to be driving traffic to Substack, where I'll have another publication just for my music, not my bespoke stuff. That's going to be separate. So I'm going to have tracks going up on, or at least announcements of tracks going up on Substack, and I'll be driving traffic to there. And then obviously from Substack, I'll be driving those folks to um, DistroKid and mostly actually to Bandcamp, which you can actually buy a track from or an album.
Yeah, this is good. It's like there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time. There's no hurry. So that's good. It's good. I'm a bit of a sort of a bull in the china shop. I want to try it today. I'm a 7-year-old kid and a 50-year-old body. That's about as much as I'm going to say about that. So I'm just a kid. I want it now. I want my lollies.
Well,
And,
I think the one thing, to be frank, although my name's Mike, I was thinking about trying to monetize on YouTube, and I'm really probably not going to do that. I'm going to be now when I do my shows that I'm broadcasting, those will go to YouTube and Substack. I don't know if I'm going to send to LinkedIn or not. To GR Houston's point, so they will live on YouTube. But again, in order to get I think to get reasonable money, I'm going to be getting that from Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's very, very, very important. We've got some comments here. Good evening. My best performing content is on YouTube with live streaming. After I transcribe the video, I write the blog post and allows me to dig deeper into the subject via Medium. Man, that's a good idea. YouTube and Medium. What I'm interested now in is, have you translated that to Substack? Substack is the new Medium. I'm going to write a song about that. Substack is the new Medium. What? I've got nothing that rhymes with Medium. I'll do it. Substack is the new Medium. Medium is a funky little platform that's been going forever, but Substack is even better. So I'm interested to know if you use Substack, if you've heard of it, if this is the new thing, or whether Medium is a thing. Does anyone else use Medium? Does anyone have a thought about it? Mike, have you thought of using Medium? I think it'd work for you.
No, there was a reason. I forget what the reason was, but I'm kind of really circling around. Does Medium allow me to push to any other platforms?
I've never used it. I don't even know how it works.
So my understanding is it's a writer's app, right? And that's awesome. But I can write articles and make money. My there was some issue. I think it was around money. because at some point I do want to monetize my writing, because it's another thing I'm planning to do, and I'll announce that later. But I'm planning on writing most likely short stories, maybe a graphic novel, and some other content. My understanding is that Medium takes a bigger chunk of your subscriber fee.
Let's have it.
So
Let's have a track. Let's have another song. I did like that song about Substack. I'll come back to that. I've got this really, really cool version. Minor key. Substack is going mainstream. Very moody. I think you'll like it. I'll save that idea. Does anyone use a Medium? I really want to compare Medium to Substack. This is very, very, very good. Have you heard of this, Zakia or Lachelle? Have you used Medium? Have you heard of it? Do you know what it is?
I've
Yeah,
heard of it, but I've never used it.
I did use it, and Substack is head and shoulders above it in terms of what it allows. Like, it allows you to publish, it allows you to share, which is on Medium, but Substack takes it to the 11th degree with all the features that we've
It's
discussed
got
before.
so many features.
Yeah.
Like, for me, from what I understand, Medium is for writers, and that's all, right? And that's what Substack was, which didn't interest me at all. But now I'm doing a show on Substack, and it's inspiring me to write articles and songs, and so it's sort of feeding my creativity. So with that in mind, I'm going to research Medium in the moment. But here's a song, especially for our by request. Medium is a thing, but Substack is going mainstream.
Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. It started as a whisper, a spark in the feed. Creators find their voice and create at light speed. We are scaling up without selling out. Gentle souls finding an audience without having to shout. It's still very early in these golden days. The crowd's not too loud and the tech will amaze.
Substack is going mainstream.
From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. The challenge is the balance to stay true and free. Hold that creator soul in the storming sea. 2025, the year we decide how far the wave goes, how wide the tide. Can we scale the mountain without losing the art? Every platform's heartbeat starts in the heart.
Substack is going mainstream.
From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name. Substack is going mainstream. From a niche to a digital dream. Voices rise, breaking the frame. It's a new frontier with a familiar name.
Substack is going mainstream. And is it? And what do you think? This really does have the feel of a morning show. I'm so into this. I'm so into this format. So, with that being said, what do we think? What's the difference between Medium and Substack? I've never used Medium, so I can't refer to it in any way, but I'll do some research. What do you think, Zakia? What does it offer that is somewhat similar, and what does it miss?
I think the publication is the primary similarity, where Medium is kind of like a blogging tool without you having to do the heavy lift, similar to Substack. But that's where the two end. Um, Substack then takes it up a notch with the creation of shorts for you if you were to do video or audio. It also has the podcasting in there. It also has the notes feature in there. It also has the monetization built in from day one, regardless of the number of subscribers that you have. So Substack, I feel like it just shook up all of the social media platforms and picked out all the things that creators need. Whereas Medium, it has its lane for those people who are writers. They go really deep with the content, and you can then share that complete post unless they've changed it. You can share it on other platforms, but that's where it ends, in my opinion.
Do they have a monetization feature? Can you monetize your tech there, or
Don't
is it?
recall. Oh, let me check. I'm going to trusty Chat GPT.
You know, the thing that's very interesting about Substack, just in case you don't know, Substack is completely free to use, and if you choose to monetize your content, they take 10%, and you keep 90%. That's the model. That's actually the model, and they've got all these very, very cool ways to do that. Now they have 50 million users, and 5 million of them are getting paid in some way by using this content. Some of them thousands of dollars a week. Not many, of course, but some. But 5 million, 10% of the 50 million people that use Substack are getting paid. And I think that's extremely, extremely inspiring. Not using Substack now, but we'll see what the future holds. I hope this has given you some interesting ideas about how Substack differs from Medium. Medium might suit you. Yeah, what do you think?
Keith, I did look at the Medium monetization, and they do have a partner program, but you have to be a member, and then members have to read your stories, and they have to be on it. It's based on read time, and then you have to enable members only for individual stories to place them behind a paywall. So there's a lot of hoops to jump through for that content, and whereas if you have a paid subscriber on Substack, that's a monthly payment or yearly, depending on how you set it up.
I love it. As you may know, I've been talking about this a lot. I'm going to wait until I get to 100 subscribers before I turn monetization on. I want to prove to myself that I can. Like I've been stuck on 67 for about a week. So I sometimes I wake up and I think, I'm never going to get there. So I want to get to 100 subscribers on Substack before I turn monetization on. But when I do it, I'm going to have two models. One is $50 a year, which is just basically thanks for supporting, maybe a few extra goodies, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. But thank you very much for being part of the team. And then I'm going to do a $50 a month version where I'm going to do some coaching probably on Go Brunch. And that'll be, what tech should I use? What is this? What is that? What do you use? What do I need? Type of content. And I haven't turned that on yet, so it's not there yet, but I will. And I've only started thinking about that because Substack makes it so easy to do. Really easy to do it. So, Mike, I'm guessing the Substack would be very cool for you. And what would you do if you were going to turn it on?
Well, Keith, let me just, I want to finish a thought that I had. Medium, if you take part in the MPP, which is where you make money.
What does that mean?
They charge you $5.
What's MPP?
That's
Stop the acronyms. What is MPP?
Medium Partner Program.
Okay. Well, why didn't you just say that?
Well, because I'm reading from their documentation. They charge $5 a month, $60 a year, even before you make money.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So as opposed, that's a big difference. As opposed to Substack, which, yeah, they take 10% off the top, but you keep 90% of whatever and you, Keith Keller, set the fee structure to your paid subscription. I don't know how, I mean, unfortunately, we don't have someone that's, making money on Medium, but my gut is it's going to be a lot easier to use Substack to get started. Now, if you already, well, I think I mentioned what, so I'm going to have my idea is to have 2 paid subscriptions. One is going to be a pre-announcement. Once I get the music tracks and sales going, I will sing tracks and albums once I get those going on a paid subscription. So, and maybe even have like you get to maybe help me pick of the 10 tracks that I create for a song, maybe which song I actually release. And then on the albums, you would get like a free preview access to the album. You still have to pay for it. You wouldn't be able to download the album, but or maybe we figure something out where because on Substack you can, I don't know how you do an album, but you can download tracks potentially. It's not something I've planned at the moment, but that's a potential way to use the subscription.
Pretty cool.
As well.
Like, it's very, very cool. I mean, and you can just set your own prices. So for me, it's going to be $50 a month and $50 a year. They're the 2 things I'm going to do, but we can just have fun with it, can't we?
Yep. It's very easy. I mean, you set that's the thing. And Keith, I already have multiple publications too. It's very easy to set up another publication.
Yeah. So we've got quite a few listeners. Hello to Kathleen and to Manny listening on Substack. And please jump in if you want to speak. If you don't yet follow me, please do. Substack.com/@Keith Keller with the little ticker going around the bottom. We are live on Substack. Live on Substack. Substack.com/Keith Keller AU. Right, and please put your Substack in the notes, and I'll in the chat, and I'll share that with everyone as well. We've got to help each other. This is very, very, very important. So Substack versus Medium. We'll do more of a show on this as I get it. What I'd really like to know, and I want to give my mate Americo some kudos here because he's doing a big show about this. And I'll start with you, Mike. You're not as excited about LinkedIn as some of us are, and you're probably in my camp of sort of bashing the door down a bit. It's not a very cool site, is it? I think it's lost its mojo, don't you think?
Okay, there are people that are believing, and I just saw that actually it was a very interesting article on LinkedIn that there have been 7 eras of LinkedIn. Now, I came in originally very, very early. Apparently, I was in era 1. And era 1 was when you basically used it as a electronic resume. And I don't think they had all of the availability for recruiters. I don't know if they were using something called Sales Navigator, which they charge an arm and a leg for. Um, so it was strictly kind of just to get your resume out. And I don't think they had a lot of the algorithms either. So that was it. And then it became more of a networking. Then they started more pushing the sales side of the house on the recruiter side. Then they added a lot more kind of search capability and networking capability. But then then they added all of this for lack of a better word, confusion around the algorithm. In other words, how did you get seen? And this is one of my biggest issues around LinkedIn is I don't feel like I have very much control at all about how I get seen.
There's a very simple way to be seen. Guess what it is?
Get on Substack.
No, pay them.
Well, no, you can do that. You can do that too with Boost. You raised a good point, but that's pretty new, Keith. Right, Boost is only maybe a year old, for maybe even less for most of us. They rolled it out over a period of time, so Boost is relatively new, and it's not cheap. So you raise a good point. Yes, you can pay. And there was an argument maybe that was maybe kind of what they were pushing before they released 360 Brew. Now 360 Brew, so they had all of these algorithms before, but they were disparate. And I've actually heard that even within LinkedIn, they didn't really have a cohesive plan. Well, that all changed with 360 Brew. So 360 Brew is their own LLM that uses something called I'm going to forget I know what the acronym is, but it's multitude or something of experts. So anyway, it's basically a way of making sure that they get the right people seeing the right content. That's what it's supposed to do. And now they're taking things like your profile, how you post, because back in the day, Keith, it actually mattered when you posted. Like Tuesday, I think, was one of the best days to post. So there was all these kind of wacky and mysterious ways of trying to get seen. And to your point, and again, this is pre Boost. So now with 360, supposedly they are going to look at pretty much everything about what you do on LinkedIn, including your profile. And what they're trying to do is, so Mike is into cybersecurity, or Keith is into audio, and Keith has to put that in his profile. He has to put that in his about. So headline, about, and then in your featured and in your posting, you really should be relegating anything that you post on LinkedIn to audio, in your case, or cyber in mine. I'm like, I'm a multidimensional person. Maybe I don't want to post just about cybersecurity. So now you're forcing me into a box in order to be seen. I gotta say, I'm maybe a bit of a rebel. Maybe I join you in being a little bit rebellious. I don't like to be put in a box, and I also don't like chasing, because one of the things that LinkedIn would do quite a bit is change the algorithm, or change how they figured out what your what your distribution was, and I don't really want to do that. To me, it sounds like Substack is pushing to help you build your subscriber base, and it seems like they're kind of actively involved with that, like with Notes. Notes apparently is a significant way to kind of get seen in Substack. There isn't really, I like the community chat that Substack has. There's not really, I mean, you can have a group, but the way, I don't get a sense of community in LinkedIn.
Let me pick up on this. This is very, very cool. When this all first started 5 weeks ago, I wrote a song called it's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm all in. I think Substack, and we can stop the LinkedIn bashing now. Substack is the new thing. Now, it's up to you whether people listening who are not on the call. It's up to you whether you embrace it. I can't hold your hand. I'm not your mother, right? But I think Substack is here to stay. It's got 50 million users, 80 million visitors every month, and it's only going to get better. So this song, I think, sums that up. Substack is not the new LinkedIn, but I'm all in, and I think it's even better than that. So have a listen to this.
It's not a new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Building my world with a newsletter grin. No viral spin, just truth within. Owning my list, like I'm born to win. I used to chase the algorithms game, scrolling through the noise just to stake my name. Endorsements, buzzwords, suit and tie claim, but I was losing touch, it all felt the same. Then I found a space where the words run deep, where the inbox opens and the real ones speak. No likes, no cloud, just a loyal crowd. Now I'm writing loud and I'm feeling proud. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Building my world with a newsletter grin. No viral spin, just truth within. Owning my list like I'm born to win. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Long form love, let the stories begin. No clickbait sin, just soul and skin. Substacks, where the real ones live. They said bring your playbook, play the part, but I'm not here to network, I'm here for art. No humble brags or corporate flair, just me and my thoughts laid out bare. I still show up where the suits all go, but I save my fire for the ones who know that depth is rare in a world so loud. But I found my voice and I found my crowd. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Crafting my lane with a fountain pen. No growth hacks, just discipline. I'm not a brand, I'm a citizen. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. No elevator pitch, just where I've been. From post to kin, we build and spin. Substacks, where the real ones live. Oh, real ones live. They knows like sparks, not just for show. No chasing trends, just letting go. Discovery's fine, but loyalty's gold. I'm not for sale, I'm here to hold. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. Writing my truth from deep within. No filters thin, no polished grin. Just real talk, let the trust begin. It's not the new LinkedIn, but I'm still in. A rebel feed with a writer's spin. No algorithm can box me in. Substacks, where the real ones live. Yeah, real ones live.
If I was to be very honest, I think that's the song that got me banned.
Probably. I
No
think
algorithm can box me in. Substacks where the real ones live. I'm not a brand, I'm a citizen. It's not LinkedIn, but I'm all in. So, I mean, those words are exactly what I think. And maybe I've been a little bit too free with my opinion. But Mike, what do you think? Some of those just went straight for the jugular, didn't they? Did you listen to the words? Could you hear the song?
Yeah, I'm not convinced, Keith. Well, either there's one of two things. They are going deep and listening to your LinkedIn lives, or um like my problem with LinkedIn ban, short-term bans or whatever, LinkedIn jail as they call it, most of the time you don't know what you did wrong, and that's a problem to me.
I don't know
Because
what I've done wrong.
because what if it was something else? Like, what if I'm not saying I did, but what if they didn't like something I commented on one of your LinkedIn lives, or whatever? I will tell you, they don't like stuff going outside the platform. Meaning, generally, if you post links either in your post, I don't know about LinkedIn live comments. I'm assuming it's the same thing. They don't like things leaving the platform. They really would rather you have, although they don't necessarily allow you to add all of the content that you could potentially, access off site. So unfortunately, and I would love to know what you did wrong. And I've had other bigger LinkedIn voices also get put into LinkedIn jail.
Look,
And
to be honest, I know you want to hear it. Let's have this discussion. You might be fascinated to know that I've worked out what I've done wrong.
okay.
I've worked it out. So before I tell you what I think I've done wrong,
Mm,
the big question is for me is, now that I know what I can't do, will I comply?
correct.
Yeah. So there's 4 things that I think I've done wrong. One, or a combination of 4 things. One is, people are saying, mate, you're not paying for LinkedIn. You're probably using it too much. I said, well, that's true. I mean, it is a platform that's been going, and I've been using it since 2008, and I've never paid for it, and I never will. So if LinkedIn says, well, look, you're not paying for it, you've had your turn, you've had your day in the sun, it's probably fair that you stop. I will, because I'm not paying for it. I don't think it's valuable enough for me, because it's $60 Australian for the minimum product. $60. I don't think I'm getting $60 worth of value out of LinkedIn. So that's a fair comment. It's a fair comment. And if they say, look, this is only available for paid, I would honor that. And I would just stop using it.
Keith, let me play devil's advocate though. If they were going to do that, to me, they would limit your reach. In other words, if you had LinkedIn Lives, and you had a good subject, and maybe even, I don't know, like when you do more than 100 comments, and that deserved more impressions, and you didn't get them, then I would kind of go with what you're saying. But there's a line for me as to, you can call it whatever you want, shadow banning, controlling your reach, as opposed to outright banning. So I'm going to argue a little bit with you there.
No, it's not my argument. I didn't make that up. Someone told me this, and I was a bit offended, to be honest. I thought, look, LinkedIn is a product, and some people pay for it. I'll be very interested to know if everyone in the world today that doesn't pay for LinkedIn stopped using it, who'd use it? If everyone in the world who's not paying for LinkedIn stopped using it, who would use it? I mean, 4 people, maybe not, maybe 1 million people, but they say they got 1.2 billion users. But I can tell you for sure that not less than 10% of them are paying them. So that means
I would say anyone that's doing it from a B2B standpoint, which I don't know what the percentage is, but anyone that either has a page or is using it, which I know a fair amount of people are, and particularly in the coach space, there's quite a number of people in the coach space that are using it for business. So I would probably, again, gently push back on that. I mean, I can't say because they don't tell you, but I would push back gently on paid versus, because not for nothing, Keith, if you are putting in interesting content, they shouldn't really care, because you're bringing eyeballs that, particularly, I'm assuming, from Australia, that they may not get otherwise. And you're generating content on the platform, whether you're paying for it or not. you're getting eyeballs, you're getting people coming to your shows, you're getting
This is the
comments.
reason why I've never thought of it, because I thought, hang on, I'm creating content. Like, people are coming to the site to see
Yeah.
my content. I'm actually doing them a favor. I remember when Twitter started charging people, Stephen King said, mate, you should be paying me to use it. I shouldn't be paying you to use it. You should be paying me to use this, because I'm creating content that people come to see. And if it wasn't for me posting content, no one would come to my site. Why would they? Right? They might come to other people's sites, but they're not coming to his. So people like Stephen King said, you should be paying me to use the site. Right?
So I'm going to push back on that. Now, if you are being vocal or whatever about pushing to other platforms, again, remember, they want what I call walled garden content, meaning that what your, the content that you have on LinkedIn stays on LinkedIn. For example, anything that you post on your actual post, not a newsletter or an article, but your post cannot be seen outside of LinkedIn. Your articles and your newsletters can't, from my understanding anyway, can be and are cataloged by Google, for instance. So they can be crawled. This is my understanding. I don't know if it's true or not. And then certain pieces of your profile. But generally, most of your content, other than those two, are staying on LinkedIn, including, of course, your LinkedIn Lives. But unlike others, and I think a lot of people are doing this, they're using StreamYard or Restream to push to other platforms besides LinkedIn.
What do you think's the key? Do you think this is not my opinion? Someone else gave me this idea, and I was a bit offended by it, but I've just chewed on it. I meditated on it for a couple of days, and I thought, well, maybe if I'm not paying them, maybe I should leave. What do you think? Do sites like LinkedIn and Facebook, is it fair to use it if you don't pay?
I think so. And they say when you don't pay, you are the product. So your being there is actually giving them value and something to put out there. So I think you should be able to be there, but just meter your expectations of what you're going to get for free. The heyday of I'm here, so I'm going to get the reach is long gone for all the platforms, with the exception of Substack, I think, which will come to an end at some point. But no, I don't think you should have to pay to be on the platforms.
Yeah, it's very, very important. So I don't think either, but I'm open to it. That's the first one. The fact that because I don't use it, I shouldn't use it. Because I don't pay for them to use it, I shouldn't use it. I don't believe that, but I wanted to at least put that out there, that several people have said this to me this week, right? You're using it way too much. And several people have said, I've tried the 1 year trial for the paid version. It just wasn't worth it for my business. LinkedIn articles are indeed indexed by Google and Bing. So there's significant benefits to using it, but it's $60 Australian a month to use it. And my gut feeling in my belly is that it's not worth that money. So if they want me to, I'll stop using it. I don't mind. I will, because I'm not paying them. And I'll just say that really right up front, so that we'll get that one out of the way. I've got 4 that I think is happening. But Mike, I'm guessing, because no one's telling me this, I've asked really, really detailed questions. In fact, this has happened several times. And when this did happen the last time, I got this exact email. This will be the last email we will send. Stop asking questions. I actually got that email from them. Stop asking questions. This is the last email we will respond to. That was in January 2024 when I was banned for 4 days in the middle of a show, which 300 people on the call live. It really stuffed me up, which is how I found out about Go Brunch in that 4 days. The second idea is that I'm sending too many DMs. Now, Zakia, you can relate to that. I send you a lot of DMs. I'm probably just a bit of an annoyance, right? I mean, I'm probably sending too many DMs. I'm pretty happy to own that one. The question is, can I adjust? I love sending DMs. I love DMs. Here's a cool article I found. What are you doing? Did you see this? Here's a cool meme. Did you see this video? I love this. God, what a cute dog. So would you agree that I'm probably sending a few too many emails as a key? You can say it. We're friends.
But just a wee bit, but I'm gonna go back to what Mike said a little bit earlier. That's how you're communicating, and supposedly, these platforms are around for us to make genuine connections, and that happens in the DM. So I think that you're using it the way you're supposed to, it's just that it might look a little robotic because you're in so many different people's inboxes with the information, but I think that's how we're if you want true connection with people, I think that's why like, you were probably one of the, few people that I connect with on a daily basis on LinkedIn because of those DMs. I
Mm.
don't see what you post all the time, but I do see those direct messages.
Zakia, I have a question. If
Mhm.
we are connected, sorry, let me back up. Keith is not paying. If he is, I thought he was limited to 15 IMs. Is that when you're not connected with someone?
I don't have any. You get zero.
Oh, you get 0 now.
Zero. You've never had any. You've never had any.
So how are you DMing?
I can
For your
DM.
connections, anybody you're connected with, you can send a direct message to.
Okay.
Whatever they call it. What do they call it? InMail. Yeah, InMail is only for people that you're not connected to. Right. You don't get any on the free plan.
They used to make it 15, but they must have changed it. I think to your point, Keith, I think they changed that. I don't know, maybe this year.
And it's interesting. I think that might have been the case, but I do not send emails to people I do not know. When I connect with someone, I usually send, "Hey, thanks for connecting. Cheers from Melbourne. You know, I know this is a long way away. Are you on Substack or have you got a podcast? How can I help you?" Just a very generic one. But maybe because I'm doing it a lot, they think this must be robotic. He must be using some program because he does so many.
Yeah, but
I'm just
dude,
a friendly person.
Yeah, but dude, yes, you send a lot of images, but I'm going to push back again with what Zakia said. Yeah, if what we're supposed to be doing is connecting, which is what they're claiming that we are supposed to be doing, right? Is connections. Why would they care? Now, if they can prove, and this is where it gets sticky, I don't think they can prove that you're botting. So again, you would. I do know their terms of service, by the way, Keith, do have something about scraping. So I'm not saying you are, but if you're scraping LinkedIn at all, that's against terms of service.
Yeah. Well,
And what that, so I could see that, but again, I'm not buying a simple, DM in is it again.
But he sends a lot of DMs.
Yeah, but I'll give you.
I know. Yeah, but there's one thing being annoying, and another thing to get kicked off the site for overuse. So
it's a good kick in the guts for it. I'm happy to concede this, but this is a very good example of why I do it, and I'm just reacting to the fact that the reach is so bad. So I might do a poll and say, okay, this is a very good example. We've just hit daylight saving, guys. You went forward, we went back, or you went forward, I went back, or whatever it is. Well, I can't work it out. But anyway, what time do you want the shows to be from now on? And I'll do a poll. At 10 o'clock, my time, 12 o'clock, my time, 6 p.m. your time, 8 p.m. your time, right? If you live in Melbourne, well, the times are the same. If you live in the US, then you have to use the top ones. So 10 a.m. is 6 p.m., 12 p.m. is 8 p.m. I need to know so I can decide, do I do the show at 12 o'clock or do I do the show at 10 o'clock? It's a very deliberate purpose. So if I just put that poll out, I'd get 0 response and maybe 4 votes. So I send a DM, hey, guess what? You guys just went to daylight saving. When should I do the show next? Oh, 10 a.m. my time. Yeah, well, that's 2 a.m. That's no good. Would 6 p.m. be all right? Oh, look, I'd prefer 8 p.m. Okay. If a large amount of people say 8 p.m., I'll do the show at 12 o'clock my time, to coincide with 8 p.m. Eastern. I get it. It's a very deliberate attempt to find out stuff. I'm communicating with people. If LinkedIn's algorithm was better, I'd get more views on that. I got 22,000 connections. What are they doing? They're not seeing it. They're just not seeing it. So I've got to work really, really, really hard behind the scenes to get people to vote. Yeah. It's a sort of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Keith,
It is.
actually, you raised an interesting point. How your connections are you DMing?
All of them.
Oh, look, I might send, I don't know, 20 a day.
I was gonna say not all 20,000. Again, I'm gonna push back. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that that's enough traffic. If you were, and I don't know if you can do this, but if you were sending to all 20,000 connections on a daily basis, then I could say yeah. But then again, they should be warning you somehow.
Well, I'll give you another example. And this is the second. This is actually the third. I'll sort of segue into the third reason why I think I'm getting banned. So LinkedIn, in its terms of service, allows you to actually send once a week or over the course of a week the invitation to your next show to up to 1,000 of your connections. Right? I've got 22,000, so I'm never going to get to them all, but I can send 1,000 in the course of a week. That's completely within the terms of service. So I do that. That might be getting me banned, but I don't think so. But 150 of them per 1,000 usually say, yeah, I'll come. But they never do. And so what I do is the day before, hey, Brenda, notice that you've signed up for tomorrow's show. You might have forgotten. Here's the link. Hope you can come. You said you wanted to come. I'm sending you an email, a DM about the show with the link to the show. You said you wanted to come. I didn't make you push yes. So I think that's one of the reasons I do this, but I don't send 150. I might pick 20 a day and say, okay, well, here, look, I haven't sent a DM to them for a while. Here's the show. You said you wanted to come. Here's the link. Hope you can come. Got any questions?
I think you're doing it the way you're supposed to. They're just not expecting you to actually do it. Like what you're describing is probably best practice that most people just don't have the time, energy, or know-how to do. But you're actually reaching out and touching people for things that they said they wouldn't have. Why are you connected with me if you don't want to come to any of my shows, answer any of my DMs, get reminders of these things? We shouldn't be connected.
That's right. And, it's not like I'm ringing someone randomly. Someone knocked on my house the other day and said, hey, guess what? We're in the street. Do you mind if I just run up your roof and have a look at how many tiles are broken?
But Keith, to me, again, I'm going to push back gently and say, if that was the case, then they should be saying you are, and you're not doing it. But if you were sort of bugging people, first of all, people have the ability to block and disconnect, right? So that's number one. Number two, if they can't tell you that this type of stuff is, in other words, if you're upsetting people and people are reporting, then I'm sorry, but somehow you should be notified that that's the case, because how do you know to change your,
right. How do behavior? I know what to do, what not to do?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not saying any of this could be true, but I'm feeling.
What's your gut feeling that what do you think might be? I mean, I've got 4 suggestions, but what do you think might be happening? Is it just a bug in the system and they don't even know what's happening? Why am I keep getting banned? Why do you think?
Well, I think, and I don't know where I just saw something recently that kind of shocked, kind of being the operative word, that LinkedIn is not sort of a unified, you would think they are, and particularly after their acquisition by Microsoft. But my gut and what I've heard is that LinkedIn is not as stitched together as you might think. And so it's really hard for me to say there is like I don't know if you read anything about the Twitter files, but there was sort of centralized control within Twitter, and actually the U.S. government was basically, and I don't want to get political, but this is just facts. I don't think that LinkedIn is that together. Now, again, under this new 360 brew, that might be changing. So the analytics, my gut is, so like I said, my understanding was that they had all these algorithms all over the place. So there wasn't anything really unified. My gut is that, and so my point is, maybe there was an algorithm you were tripping. But like I said, again, if that's true, I'm sorry, but you should be, again, if if I'm not following whatever they are saying that in terms of service, and they're banning me, I don't know. I mean, not for nothing, man. I would be digging for some high level people at LinkedIn.
What happened the last version? This is version number 5 since Halloween. 5 times have been restricted since Halloween. Friday night, 6 p.m. Wifey's cooking. I thought I'd just quickly check my messages while we have got some music playing, the candles are burning, and because Carol doesn't like me interrupting when she's cooking. Like, it's not a community event. It's she's cooking, get out of the way. So, all right, I'll get out of the way. I'll just check my LinkedIn feed, 6 p.m. Friday night, restricted. No excuses, no definitions. Just for a week till next Friday at 6 p.m. Can't access the site. So I think you're right. If I was a parent, not that I am, and I'm happy to concede that, but if I was a parent and one of my kids did something wrong, I might sit them down and says, hang on, look, you probably don't know this, but it's not kosher to throw cricket balls at your sister. Can you stop that? I mean, this is the first time you've done it. You may not know that that's wrong. She's crying, so maybe you guessed, but let's just assume you don't know. So can you please stop throwing cricket balls at your sister? If you do it again, I'm going to take the cricket ball off you and put you in your room for the night with no TV and no dessert. Right? But that's next time. I'm guessing. Hopefully, if this happened, I would be a good father. But, so he does it again. This kid throws a cricket ball at his sister. Right? Okay, well, you've been warned. You know it's wrong. So tonight, no television, no dessert, locked in your room. We'll see you in the morning. What do you think? Are you sorry? Do you get it? Do you get it? You're going to stop doing it? If he does it a third time, then what do you do? Right? But can you see the point? There's a sequence, right?
There is, but none of the platforms follow that. When Facebook bans, they just say you've been banned. When YouTube dings you, they just say a copyright with no explanation, and you have to try and dig. And there's like and LinkedIn is now performing the same way. So I think what you're describing is the ideal, but I don't know any of the platforms that are giving. It seems like you're getting warnings because you can come back to LinkedIn. The warnings aren't very educational because they're not saying what you did. They're just saying, hey, we're going to slap you on the hands. Don't do something again. But they're not telling you what the something is.
Yeah.
But none of them have good customer service that way.
Yeah. Well, the fourth way, which I don't think is the case, but this would be horrific if it was, because this is the one I do every week and I love doing it, is the terms of service allow you to connect with 100 new people every week on the free plan. Hello, I'm in Melbourne. You're doing similar things. You want to connect? No pressure. We seem to be doing the same things. It's not a dating site. Just connecting because you're a cool person. So you're allowed to send 100 connections per week on the LinkedIn under the terms of service, which I do strategically. I run out and I get a little warning. You're nearly there. You better stop. Right. So I stop. And about 70 of those people say, yes, I agree. There is some synergy. Let's connect. You seem like a nice person. So that's a very relevant strategy for my networking sort of idea. I follow 100 people, 70 people say yes. I've met 70 new people. They might come on my show. They might have a show. They might have a blog post I can post for them. They may want to read my blog posts. They might know people in my town I can have a coffee with them. It just makes sense, right? But there is some suggestions that that particular strategy is getting me into trouble. The fact that we have to guess is really pissing me off. Like, if I throw a cricket ball at my sister, just tell me the first time it's not on. Okay, I get it. I didn't know. I'm 5. I'm 5 years old. Never done it before. Stop. All right, I get it. It's hard. I didn't realize how hard the cricket ball was. She's hurting. I'm sorry. I won't do it again, but please tell me what it is. And so I don't know. We're having these conversations. This is going to YouTube, so we will have a replay. But in 12 months' time, we might be having a laugh thinking, remember LinkedIn? I haven't been able to use that for 12 months. I didn't die. I'm not going to die if LinkedIn bans me. I'm not going to die. But what it feels like for me is that there's a room in the house with a lock on it. And there's good stuff in there. Maybe the cookbooks or, my favorite records, or there's something I need, right? And I've just got it in that room because that's just where they are. And this still happens every day. I click the link on LinkedIn. I go, oh, that's right. I've been banned. I keep forgetting because I check it every day. I click the app. Oh no, I've been banned. I keep forgetting. I just keep forgetting. It's only Friday. And have you ever been to a room that's been locked, or you go to and it's not available? I feel like someone's cut my arm off. Right? If this has to happen, then it has to happen. And what I've got to do when I get my account back with the 3 emails that I can send every day is I've got to find some very high level people on LinkedIn and ask them what's going on, and use my three wishes. If you want to use that term, I've got to use my time wisely and say, why is this happening to me? Do you know? Because I can't get an answer. And before I disappear altogether, can I try and fix it? Like, that's the most frustrating part. I could be banned forever, not even knowing what I've done wrong. I mean, it's just not fair, is it? That's just not fair.
No.
I would change my behavior if I knew what I was doing wrong, but I don't. So I'm preparing, but that being said, that doesn't matter so much. What I've decided in the interim period is I'm going to get to 100 subscribers on Substack by Christmas. I've got a month to go. I'd love to know if you guys know how to get subscribers on Substack and how you're doing that. Do you have any ideas about how to get subscribers on Substack?
No clue.
Yeah.
No clue on that one.
Mike, do you have any ideas?
Well, first of all, Keith, when you get back on LinkedIn, you start driving people to Substack. And the way I've been doing that is I create something on Substack, an article on Substack, then I post on LinkedIn. So then I'm driving traffic to my publication on Substack. You have 20,000 people on LinkedIn. If you can't get to 100 pretty quick, I think you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Well,
So give that a try. That's number one. Zakia, I think, or maybe it was someone else mentioned, if you're restacking and commenting on other people's notes or their articles, that's also a way, my understanding is, to get more engagement on Substack. And then, like I said, notes. So I don't know what's changed, but my sense was at one point you could actually post just notes on Substack. What I'm doing is posting notes about my articles, so or my podcast or whatever. So I would post notes. I wouldn't make them very long. If you're going to have long notes, then you don't write articles. But that's another way. My understanding is that's another way to get more visibility. Is at least for now, notes, restacks of other people's stuff, commenting on other people's stuff is the way to get more visibility in Substack.
Let's pick up on this. I think you're right. I think that notes are the secret ingredient to getting more followers and more subscribers. So notes as a feature is quite specific to Substack. You can post a note about a post. You can just post a note. Hey, guess what? The dolphins were here. Here's a picture of the dolphins. And I got a donut. Please don't tell my wife. You know, you can just post those sort of normal sort of here's me at Twitter type posts. I did get a donut. I got a donut and I saw some dolphins. Life is good. I've seen those posts. These sort of fluffy little what's life like in Melbourne, Australia posts. But the idea of posting a note about an article you've written, that's a very good idea, because you've already written the article. Now you've got this little secondary feed that we can just say, hey, have a read of this. This is pretty good. I just
Keith, I don't know if you've noticed, but when you create those articles after you do the save or whatever, it brings up a page where it's basically asking you, do you want to write a note about this? It also says, do you want to push this to the other platforms? But it's the one right above. So the one in the middle says, do you want to push it to LinkedIn and YouTube and wherever else? But right above that is, do you want to write a note about this? And almost every article I write a note for. And it counts it for some reason as a restack. That's what it says that it is, but I don't think you need to pay attention to that. It's a note.
How do you? Okay, so let's play this out. If you wrote an article which has just been written, and you've got the title there, how would you write a note about that for extra reach? What would you say?
Well, first of all, I do a short intro. Hey, and if you have a hook, write a hook. Typically anything you write should have some sort of hook in the beginning. Say, hey, are you interested in, AI security? I've written an article about blah, blah, blah. Find it below. And the other thing, I don't know if it makes a difference. I think it does, but on all my articles, almost all my articles have a picture. I would highly recommend, if you don't have a picture in your article, I would highly recommend putting a picture in your note.
You can put a picture, you can add a graphic to the note.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah. We always get an email saying, here are some graphics for your recent post. You could probably take that graphic and make a note out of it. That's not a bad idea. They're usually square, a bit daggy, but I might try doing that. I get an email every day. Here is some visual references for your latest post. I should probably look at that and make a note about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in either that, I mean, the reason I reuse those often for other platforms, because it has your Substack. Well, when you do the push from Substack, it actually links it in whatever mechanism that platform uses. Like LinkedIn, it has the LinkedIn link to your Substack. Or whatever. So whatever you're pushing it to, it has that. So that's, and you can even do shorts that way, Keith, to YouTube. So you can ask it to create a short, like for your shows. You can say, I want a short, so you post your show is already going to be on Substack. You push a short to YouTube, and if you want, you push the whole thing, but you can push a short and then have it reference. And then, to your point, why are you doing this? Well, because you want visibility amongst for lack of a better word, the broader community. Because remember, when you're posting, an article, it's only going to free or paid subscribers, depending on how you've set it up. So, and the other thing I did want to mention is you can turn on a per. I don't know if you can turn it off, but you can, on a per article basis, you can say I don't want to send it to my subscribers. Why? Let's say you're doing 10, or I don't know, you got really productive and you created a bunch of articles. Now you can leave them as drafts too. You can just leave them as draft, don't publish them. And then I don't know if you can schedule publishing. I think maybe, I don't know. Do you know, Zakia, if you can schedule?
You
Okay.
absolutely can. But as I'm listening to you both talk, it seems like Substack is going to reward you for bringing people off platform. If we think about all those sharing tools that they're using,
Mhm.
if you're driving traffic from other platforms, perhaps that is the missing link, right? Instead of depending on just the Substack audience, can you bring your existing audiences from LinkedIn, Instagram? Because if we look at even our stats, they're tracking where that's coming from.
Yep.
And even the assets that they're generating are encouraging you to share it out to those platforms, so you're helping them grow. Maybe that's the unlock.
Yeah,
I love this.
I
I'm
think
interested in whether you're doing that. I haven't asked you yet what site you're using for emails, and you don't have to tell me as a key, but you're a big fan of email, aren't you?
I am. I definitely am. That is through and through where 90%, well, 80% of my sales come from my direct email marketing. And I don't mind sharing. It's VBOUT, VBOUT. It was a lifetime deal. And it also allowed me to have agency licenses. So I have 6 clients that actually use it and pay me a monthly subscription for it.
Helping small teams create big business. vbout.com. Tell us why you like it. How does it differ to, say, any of the other sites that you've
Lifetime
tried?
deal. They're all the same. When you break all of these tools down, email marketing, social media scheduling, live streaming, they are more alike than similar. And so what I like about VBOUT, number 1 is that agency. I needed a way to be able, because I train small businesses on bringing their business online. And there's 3 parts to that. Your home base, which is your website, your communication to those people that have said they want to connect with you or your customers via email, and your bullhorn with social media. So I can't just teach those things without having a technical solution for them to be able to implement. Now, I could easily refer them to a MailChimp or an Aweber or a MailerLite. The list goes on and on. But if I already have them in my ecosystem from the training, a natural extension of that is the tool to go with it. VBOUT in particular, it has forms, it has email marketing, it has social media scheduling. You can have landing pages with it as well. And then most importantly for me, I can have sub accounts, which is an agency where I can then we have standard email sequences that we tell every business owner they should have, and I can load those into their platform, and it's less work for them to do. And of course, it has AI built into it. So all of those were reasons for me to get it. And now I implement it for not only myself, but the clients who trust me for what I tell them they should be doing.
Let's have this discussion. vbout.com. I use Luma, lu.ma. I want to do a direct comparison, but what you're saying is true. Most of these email formats are very similar to each other, very little differentiation. You just happen to get it on a special, a lifetime deal with Aweber, AppSumo. And now you use it. I love it. I really can see it. VBOUT. I'm not really sure what that means. VBOUT.com. Can't see where they got that name, but it seems to have a lot of very, 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 very good features. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's a really great tool. It does what it says it does, and the email deliverability is there. One thing I do tell a lot of small business owners is to check the reputation of the email providers that they're considering getting, because if for whatever reason they're on some kind of shared service and somebody is blacklisted, that impacts their deliverability of their email. And so, VBout has a very good reputation. They have a lot of anti-spam built in there. So each client is walled off from anybody else doing anything nefarious.
Yeah. Mike's had to drop off there, but I really want to pick up on this. So I'm using a site called Luma. I want to tell you how I'm doing that. Please join the call and see if you want to tell us what you use. I've just found out about this brand new site. It's not brand new, but it's brand new to me. VBout, AI-enabled marketing platforms. I mean, it is glorious. We won't have the ability to do a or is the AppSumo thing still relevant? Is it still
Oh, no,
going?
that's long gone. That was 2020.
Yep. So it's free to use. Let me compare this directly to a Luma because it's a very direct comparison. The basic email is free, and you can send 50 emails a month. Right? And there's marketing automation, pipeline management, and lead management. Right. The $50 version is unlimited. I'm guessing unlimited emails, and there's landing pages and reporting, and then it goes up to 100 for extra goodies. You probably have the professional version, but tell us how you use it, because email marketing is one thing we all need to know more about.
Yeah, so I use the email marketing for both the nurture sequences. Whenever somebody opts into a lead magnet, there's typically about 4 or 5 emails to make sure that they implement what they've just downloaded from the website. I also use it just for the forms on my website. If somebody is doing a contact form or anything like that, it also shows me hotspots on my website. So where people, oh, so are we just talking about email marketing? I should stop there.
No, that's good. I think the point about email marketing, I want to cross reference with how I do it. There's two ways that I think we can grow our Substack account. One is there's 50 million people on Substack. So that means that there's, in a way, 50 million potential subscribers, relatively, if you want to be very, 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 very half full about it. 50 million subscribers of users of Substack. So you've got a potential to get 50 million subscribers relatively over time. Right, that's one of the things I'm doing, trying to get people that are already on Substack to subscribe to my Substack because they're already on it. Right, that's one thing. But the second way to do it is, why don't you try and send people the link that maybe not haven't heard of it yet, and get them to join fresh. Now, this is, I would imagine, much harder, because you send an email to someone saying, first of all, have you heard of Substack? And if you do, sign up to mine. They might not have heard of it. And there's all this friction. But email marketing is that generic sort of thing that you can really get anything done, right? Because you're using a list that you've built over time from your various projects that they build this glorious filing cabinet full of names, don't you?
They do. And the only reason I hesitate on doing that is, why am I sending them there to give them more confusion for what I can already send them via email? Why am I now sending them to yet another social media platform if they're already in my ecosystem?
Well, see,
What's the benefit of
now
that?
you're flipping it. Now you're flipping it. Why use email marketing to send people to Substack? Why not use Substack to send people to your email list?
Correct.
Let's flip that. Let's have that debate. What's the value of sending anyone that's anywhere to your email list, which is yours? What do you do with them once they're there? What are you sending them that? I've always been puzzled by this, because I'm someone who lives in public, and I don't
Uh-huh.
particularly like emails. I don't understand why people have an email list. I don't understand that, because I don't like getting them, and I don't like sending them. I would prefer to send them to Substack so they can come to my show, because my show is live and they can be part of it. Right? But let's play this game. How do you get people into your email list, and what do you do with them once they're there?
So I think my easiest example is the craft show checklist. So I think of social media as like the really loud bar or party that you go to and there's hundreds, if not thousands of people there. You barely remember the sweater somebody had on, let alone their name. Just unless they're like that extrovert, they're very loud and all of those things. So that's what social media is to me. It's that bullhorn. People who are extroverts probably thrive there. I do not. The email list, on the other hand, are those people who have said, "Hey, let's go hang out by the fire for a little while and get to know you a little bit more." They are the ones who are a little more in tune with who you are, what it is that you're saying you have to offer. Maybe they have watched a video or booked a consulting call or something. They're more brought into your ecosystem than those people that are just there on social media. So once they're on your email list, you can continue to nurture that relationship, continue to build that relationship and give them additional
Wow.
value.
I love this discussion because, I am an extrovert's extrovert.
I know you are. That's
So,
why you send so many direct messages.
and I really like off the charts despise email. I despise it. It's my worst enemy. I hate it more than mowing the lawn or doing the dishes. Oh no, there's 26 emails I got to read today. I just delete them. I don't even read them now, which means I possibly missed some good stuff. But, you know, I'm really fascinated by this discussion because you said, why would you send someone from your email list to Substack? And I would argue, why would you send someone from Substack to your email list? We're actually coming at it from the opposite side. So I've actually created some notes here. One is email marketing is great for introverts, and social media is great for extroverts. We can use both. You
Mhm.
use social media and I use email, but email is not my thing. But
And
the
it's
fact,
not a lot of people's thing. It really isn't. However, email converts higher than social media.
that's right, it converts better.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you don't have an all and again, if you don't have an offer, like there's not something that you're selling someone, whether that be your coaching, consulting, your courses, your products, whatever, then maybe you don't need an email list because you just want them to be on social media. I'm attempting to bring them into my ecosystem if it's a fit. I don't just want you on my email list so I have a great number.
Yeah.
I need you to actually wanna learn how to make soap or build your business
Yeah.
online or
Yeah.
learn about the AI tool. Like, there's different avenues that I want people there for, and only buy from me if you really need it. Not, "Oh, I feel bad. I've been to all her lives, and I haven't given her anything. Let me buy it." No, I actually need this, so I wanna buy it. And email is that direct line for what we're seeing on LinkedIn right now, where I go li and somebody actually said that on my live stream today. I didn't get the notification until after your stream was done. That was their comment. With email, if people actually read their email, um, you're going direct to their inbox with what it
Yeah.
is that you have.
Well, this is a great discussion because the way Luma works, and we'll work it in reverse. The way Luma works, LU.MA, I love it. The
Mhm.
free version allows you to send up to 5 emails to 500 people a week, which means if my email list is 140, so I can send 3 emails Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so for free. And then the
Okay.
paid version, I think, is $69 for unlimited if you've got that bigger list. So what I do on a Monday is I say, okay, look, big show this week. Here's the link to the show. Right? No one comes, so I get very despondent. But I'm sending it to them to say, I want you to know that it's on, so that you've got the choice to come if you want. Please don't tell me that I'm not telling you, because I'm telling you. So the way that Luma works, in order to build the list, because that's the hardest part, is Luma is an event platform like Eventbrite. So if you want to come to my show, you click yes and you get an email. The email is, the show is on tomorrow. Here's the link. See you there. and you get an email an hour before to say, just in case you forgot, there's that show starting in an hour. You're going to come? Now, what happens with Luma, very cool, is that that builds a master list. You've come to an event before, so my gut feeling is you probably want to know about future events. It's a bit of a leap, but you came to one before, and maybe you're interested in the next one. It's not too big a jump. So 140 people since I only started using this when LinkedIn started banning me last year. 140 people have said, yeah, look, I do want to come to your events and I do want an email about that. So I've got a list of 140 people. So I send an email to them, and I get really good stats, and I'm interested in whether or not this is important to you, the idea of stats. So I've sent 140 emails yesterday saying, brand new show, Substack and YouTube. Here's the links. Hope you can come. And 37 people opened it, 26%. No one clicked on it. Right. So it's really an awareness program to say, look, it's on now. There's the link if you want to come. It's up to you. Right. But 37 people, 26% of the people that have come to events in the past have opened the email this week about the shows that are coming next week. Right. So the two questions I have there is, one, how do you build your list? And two, how do you increase your open rate? And three, how do you get a good conversion rate on clicks? This is a big masterclass now. We can do a whole show on this.
So that's a big question and a lot of things. First off, your open rate is really good. For email, generally you're seeing 5 to 10% open rate. And if you're in the 20s or the 30s, you're doing really well. The problem is there might be a misalignment with what you're sharing in that email for them to want to click on it. So for those is there some kind of segmenting that you can do with Luma based on the events people attended? Like if you had something on social audio specifically, and there was an event tied to that in Luma, and you were then sending an email to those people who came specifically to that social audio event, you might see a higher click-through rate. But right now, if all of because you go on for hours, Keith, and you hit about 50 different topics, at least on these social audio ones. So it may be a mismatch between, I know Keith, but I was really interested in the conversation he had about mics. He's talking to me about Substack. I'm not clicking on that.
I get you. So I love what you've said there. Segmenting is not a feature that Luma has. And that's a reason why you might maybe use VBout. I'm guessing the fact that you've mentioned it, VBout must have that feature. What does that mean? Segmenting? How do you do it?
So it's a tagging mechanism. So based on how somebody enters your list, you're able to tag them and create an audience based on that. So I know the difference between my soap making audience and my technical audience. I know the difference between those people who have come for liquid soap versus herbalism. So I'm not going to send somebody who came to me for which restreaming tool do I use. I'm not sending them anything about my cold process live stream on Saturday.
Or your AI show.
Correct.
Yeah. So, and segmenting something that VBout does.
Yes.
Okay. And you do need to do that manually? You just put them all in lists, or you just say everyone that came here, you go there? Do you use
So there's a couple of ways depending on how they get on the list. Generally because they've opted into one of my lead magnets. Or they've come from a particular form on a website. It automatically tags them.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
so you create separate pages for separate things.
Correct.
Yeah. So the way that Luma works, there's two basic ways. One is one list that's everyone that's come to every event goes on the list, and it's a little bit of a jump that they might be interested in future events. Then the second list, which is only 75, is I want to know when your next event is on. I'm
But
going
there
on your.
has to be a way, Keith, for you to be able to see what event those people came to. Or is it just everybody who's ever signed up?
Generically, yes, it's everyone who's ever signed up. Right. So I've got 140 people. I've actually got rid of a few, but
Mhm.
some people have unsubscribed and some people have never come a second time. But I've trimmed it down because if I can keep it under 150 people, I can send 3 emails a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, within the 500 realm. If I get it down to 124, I can send 4 emails. But I don't want to really be sending 4 emails a week. So the generic list is a bit sort of too generic.
Yeah.
But the other list, which is the "Where is Keith today" list, is I want to know. This is what they say, and I'd be interested to know because it does tell me whether the open rate's higher there. Because
Probably.
this is a different list. This is I want to know. Only 64 of those 140 have said, Keith, I want to know when your next event is on. Please tell me. So I'm getting a 33%. In some cases, 39% open rate there. That's pretty good. I mean, bloody hell, that's
Mhm.
almost 50%.
Mhm. Yep.
So 30 to 40% of people are saying, look, I want to know when your next event's on. But there's a very, very, this has always happened to me, very poor open rate, click rate. So there must be a mismatch. Look, I came to a show about mics. You were doing all these cool shows about mics, and now you're talking about LinkedIn's algorithm. I don't give a shit about that. Why don't you? But that's very, very specific segmenting, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
But the better you get at segmenting, the more targeted it is, isn't it?
Yeah. And again, the beauty of AI is it now can learn the preferences of your Vibo. It does this automatic. It learns the preferences of your audience and it can help you with adjusting the tone of what it is that you're saying. Um your call to actions for them to actually click on that button because it knows the preferences of your audience. So it's getting really smart. It's not quite there yet, but that's where we're going with these tools.
Yeah. I thought it might have been that people have an aversion to clicking on links. Is there some value there, or do you find that if you're very targeted, people will trust you?
Hmm. I think it might be a little bit of both. I think that's a good insight. I haven't dug enough into it to give you a good answer, but I think that is possible. Especially now, everybody's very nervous about links, but I think that's where your live videos come in because they get to know you, like you, trust you.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm gonna click a link from Keith because I know he's not sending me to spam heaven, right? So um I think they work hand in hand with each other, and then that consistency of you're sending 3 messages a week, so you're not a stranger appearing in their mailbox. I just think it's too broad and too general, um,
Yeah.
because
Well,
of the nature of your shows.
yeah. Well, Luma doesn't have this email. What did you call it? This
Segmenting,
no, the other one where you send like 4 or 5 emails in a theme.
a nurture sequence.
Yeah, but you don't have the nurture sequence feature on Luma. So that it's essentially an event platform with an email marketing division.
Mhm.
But I'm very proud of this, and I'd be very interested in your thoughts here. I was always sending only, "Hey, there's an event today. Why don't you come?" No one's coming. Where are you? Where are you? Why don't you come? I was always like this petulant child. I'm wondering, Mom, why aren't you coming? Come on, here I am. Come, come, come. And sort of, the events were the emails were very, very sort of specific and a bit directed. But what I'm doing now, I'm very proud of this, extremely proud of this. What I'm doing is if I create an article, like today I wrote an article on Substack, the most popular topics on Substack. And could you use some? So the topic was some popular topics for your 2026 content. Very generic.
Mhm.
Help a dude, right? So I Googled, I was interested. What are the most popular topics on Substack at the moment? Some of them are very political. That doesn't interest me. But I picked a list of 5. And then I wrote an article about that, right? And it's had, I say, 26 views. What I'm doing now, I'm very proud of this. I'm so excited. I actually now turn that into an email for the people that have said that they're interested in my shows. And I've said, look, this is just a generic helper dude email. I did a post today. Here's the top 3 topics that people are talking about on Substack. If you're interested in doing Substack, you might want to write some articles about these topics. Right? Just a helper dude, nothing to buy. There's nothing to see here. There's no pitching, and I think those articles are going quite well. And this is the thing that I love about Substack. Because I've now done 50 articles in 90 days. I think 54 now. I think I'll just check. I've done 54 articles. I've got 55. I've got a lot of articles to choose from, right? So what I do on my Substack articles and the email is that at the bottom of my Substack article, I write related articles. Right? So today, I'll give you an example. Today, I wrote an article, the top 5 topics to talk about on Substack. If you want to get more it's very meta, isn't it? You're on Substack. You want to get better at Substack. I'm teaching you how to get better at Substack. That's sort of the current paradigm for Substack at the moment. So here's some popular topics to talk about in your next blog post. And I gave them 3. Then I wrote related articles, key Substack trends to watch for in 2026. Sort of a related article, but takes it up a notch, right? And there's 5 ideas there. And that has related articles that says why Substack is so good for online events. And if you click on that, it takes you to that article, and it has a related. So it's like a little shoe tree, like a Substack articles. Why is Substack so popular? Here's a link to my YouTube channel. So I'm actually creating this sort of momentum, almost like an infinity loop. I've written an article about popular articles. Here's a link about trends. I've written an article about trends. Here's a link about why Substack's blowing up. I've written an article about why Substack's blown up. Here's a link to my Substack page. I'm sort of keeping it in the loop on Substack. Mm-hmm. But what I'm now doing, which I'm very excited about, is I'm now taking that and making the emails more informative, more educational. Right? The results haven't come through as to improve, but I'm getting a bit more joy out of sending emails because they're educational. They're not as pitchy.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I don't like getting emails, because when was the last time you got an email that you actually read? You might be different to me, but hello, Keith. I came across your site. Hope you're feeling well. Or what did they say? Hope this email finds you well. You don't know me yet, but I got your email off the dark web and I sell SEO services. And I thought that maybe I could tell you about myself. Well, I didn't ask for that. Why are you sending me this? And then 2 days later, hello, I didn't hear back from you. Did you get my email about SEO services? And why aren't you responding to my email that I sent to you without your permission? Well, you're such a rude bastard. I get 10 of those a day. What right have you got to send me an email that I didn't ask for? No right at all. But no one can stop you. So those emails get lost in a sort of a patch. We've got 6 listeners now, so jump in if you want to speak. You obviously have a different take on email because you like sending them, and you've worked out a rhythm where you're not annoying people, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't have any unsubscribes, which is fantastic. But for you, I think you've gone really broad and really wide, like your quantity in terms of just the volume of articles that you've written. You have enough to last you for the next 6 months. But because you're also doing these shows and ultimately you're sending those emails to get people to come to the show, I would actually do your emails where you're saying, hey, sorry we missed you on the show. Here's all the things we talked about. You can catch the replay over on Substack.
Yep.
Or I created a YouTube playlist. All like something to get them to take the action that you want, which to me seems to be bringing them either onto Substack, subscribing as one, and the second one is catching them up on all the information that they missed from your event.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see you at the next one.
Yeah, yeah. So this is what we talked about today. Don't worry, here's the skinny, but next week we're going to go deeper again. Hope you can come.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I've sort of been doing. I'm sort of actually getting my mojo with email because I see the point.
Yay.
It's very generic in the sense that, and it's quite safe. Like you can decide to read your emails or not. And emails, in spite of what I've just said, they're not invasive in the sense that most people, I'm guessing, read their emails for an hour in the morning or at night. No one's just, do you? I mean, do you leave your emails up and you just get a pop up? Hey, you got a new, I better check it. Squirrel. You don't, do you? You sort of,
No.
you segment your email marketing time to, okay, I'll read my emails in the morning after breakfast before the show, and then I won't check it again until late at night or the next day. Maybe 1 hour max per day. So people are in the zone, aren't they? They're reading emails. They know what to expect. And if you're clever, and this is really the essence of it, if you're clever, you will get, which is why I'm doing it, getting a high open rate, won't you? You'll get a high open rate.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty shocking to think that an open rate of 10% is at the average. That's pretty low.
Actually, 10% is high. The average is closer to 3 to 4%.
Open rate.
Open.
Why is that? Because we get so many, or they're so
much
badly done?
junk. So much junk. And even now, again, AI and these mailboxes, it's pushing a lot of content to promotion, to spam. It's making it easier for people to unsubscribe. So you really want to make sure that there's value in what it is that you're sending. The way I look at my email is I do a quick scan for names or organizations that I'm familiar with or people that I've gotten something from before. And I do a lot of mass deletions without ever opening.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. I delete most of my emails. And I'd imagine that the average person probably doesn't even open most emails because they're sort of expecting them to be spam. So maybe the trick is to have a really cool title, or to have a trusted source, or to not what's the word? To not sort of overstay your welcome and say, look, well, that's an email from Keith. They're usually pretty good. I'll save that for later.
Yeah. And I do need to correct myself on those open rates. The average is around 17 to 25%, not
Okay.
that low.
Okay,
Yeah.
but the click rate was probably 3%. That's probably click rate's very hard. But I think we've worked out why, and that is because people might say, well, Keith's not a bad bloke, but I'm not really interested in that LinkedIn algorithm he keeps talking about. I wanted to come and find out what mixer to buy for my next podcast. Right? He's changed direction. Why does he do that? He's joined a different band. He's singing different songs. So I got to be careful about that. But it's part of that dynamism of being creative, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Well, this has been great. I am going to have to hop off.
Yeah.
But
I was
this has
going
been
to give you a
phenomenal-
lead there. Do you want to wrap it up? We've been chatting 2 hours. It's now 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah, 8:30 here.
8:30. So you guys, you can. We got 6 on the call. So what I'll do, you go
Okay.
and do your thing. I've got another wrap up tomorrow, but we're basically going to cover the same material. I'm going to do a bit of a wrap up of what we've done and send it as an email. But you're always welcome on my shows. There's 2 or 3 a week now. The one that's going to be the real clincher is Americo's on Wednesday night, 7 p.m.
Okay. Can you send me a DM when he goes? I don't get any of his notifications.
Okay.
So
I
I
will.
do want to make sure I'm actually there to support that too.
Yeah, because he's dealing with a really cool person, an Italian who lives in San Diego, I think. Really cool person. So really good. A Canadian from Toronto, an Italian living in San Diego, and an Aussie from Melbourne. I mean, we're going to get a global view on this.
Yeah, that's
So,
really good.
I will do that. But you go and do your thing. I'll play another song, and I'll see if there's anyone else here, or I might just go and get some lunch.
All righty. Have a great
Talk to you
day.
later. See ya. Okay, well, that's probably my cue. So what I'll do is I'll just play one song and wrap it up. we've been chatting about 30-30, the idea of 30 pieces of content in 30 days, if you want to, if you want to do that. We've got so many songs that wrap this idea up, and we are indeed talking about 30-30. But I want to give you the opportunity to talk about the LinkedIn algorithm. I've got to get my head around it, and my mate Americo's got a big show about this in a couple of days, so I might go back to that. I really like this deep, dark, sort of almost like punk synth sound. 1980s dark room, black leather jacket. What is this new LinkedIn algorithm? That's it. That's better. It's 1980, punk synth, black t-shirt, black hair. What is this new LinkedIn algorithm? What's it all about? Let me know. I'll talk to you on the other side.
What is this new algorithm? It's reading between the lines. No more noise, just precision. Matching hearts and minds. What is this new algorithm? It's the rhythm of what we do. If you post with passion and purpose, it's gonna find you true. Check my feed this morning, things feel brand new. Posters shuffled, stories I never knew. No more chasing likes, no clickbait thrills. It's 3x stick goal, redefining script. 150 billion thoughts in play, learning what we mean, not just what we say. Every word, every vibe, every clue, all filtered through the lens of you. What is this new algorithm? It's reading between the lines. No more noise, just precision. Matching hearts and minds. What is this new algorithm? It's the rhythm of what we do. If you post with passion and a purpose, it's gonna find you true. Scatter your thoughts and you'll fade away, but stay in your lane to avoid foul play. It craves clarity and names inside, meaningful content that shines so bright. They switch the system overnight. 1,000 models gone new inside. We'll fix this latest thing. Oh, find no shortcut strikes. What is this new algorithm? It's reading in between the lines. No more noise, just precision. Matching hearts and minds. What is this new algorithm? It's the rhythm of what we do. If you post with passion and purpose, it's gonna find you true. What is this new algorithm? It's reading between the lines. No more noise, just precision. Matching hearts and minds. What is this new algorithm? It's the rhythm of what we do. If you post with passion and purpose,